the BQW podcast, presented by Bigg Q's World. Here's where we talk about consumer technology, everyday life struggles, pop culture, latest news stories, and whatever else that goes on inside of Bigg Q's brain. All right, Geekazoids, it's going down right now. Here's your host, Bigg Q.
What is going on, everybody? What is happening? It's your boy, Bigg Q, and I'm back with episode 3 of the Bigg Q's World podcast. It's been a while. I've been away for a minute, and a lot of things been going on, man. And I had time to get back to the podcast, but I'm finally back. I'm gonna do a rededication of sorts to the podcast because the motivation ain't been there. We're gonna talk about that today on today's podcast. I got a couple things, and it's a freestyle style kind of a podcast today. Normally I have notes and stuff written down, and I have like a story built out, and I have a program of sorts, you know what I mean? But every time I put the show together, you know, I kind of went over it, and I ended up putting it in the trash because I didn't like it, or whatever the case may be. And I would start from scratch, and I would do another show, and then I would, you know, observe what was going on in the world, and I would throw it away. And, you know what I mean? So, like, I guess that's part of being a kind of a perfectionist to a certain degree. But you know, I feel like, you know, I'm just gonna come from the heart. I'm just gonna get on here, I'm gonna turn my microphone on, press record, and we're gonna get busy. We're gonna talk about whatever comes across the mind today. And you know, first things first, you know, I gotta say, it's been good. You know, so the past few weeks been alright, I've been chilling. You know, trying to get through this pandemic situation. We all are trying to make it. We're trying to, you know, stay safe and trying to, you know, stay sane and trying to keep your mind in order. It's been rough. It's been a rough couple weeks, but we still here. We still going. We still got it going on. We're trying to make the best of it. You know what I mean? You know, I got a chance to see my brand new shiny niece about a week or so ago. My brother JB and his new wife, they came through. They brought the kid. It was nice to see, you know. Then after watching the wife fall in love with the baby, you know, she sat there and held the baby the whole time. You know what I mean? It was cool. It was kind of cool to get a little bit of family stuff going. You know, about it being the month of July. A lot of, you know, birthdays in my family fell in the month of July. There was mine on the 1st of July, and then, of course, there was my other brother, Cleo's birthday came in on the 17th, and I think my sister's birthday will be on the 20th, somewhere around here the next day or so, whenever you guys are listening to this podcast. So July is always a big month for boy family and that kind of thing. But, you know, as far as, you know, what's been kind of going on, man, is like trying to keep afloat during this COVID-19 era, pandemic era, you know. And one of the things I kind of felt like I wanted to talk about on the podcast tonight was, I know last time we spoke, we talked about how people were kind of, you know, getting along financially through the crisis, and how things were kind of set up a weird way. So, you know, there was this whole situation where a lot of people got furloughed and kind of, you know, got laid off. But then, you know, unemployment was there to kind of catch, and unemployment was a weird situation where they gave you a bonus $600 and you was able to kind of, you know, stay afloat. And sometimes you was able to make a little bit more money than you would make it on your regular job. And, you know, in that kind of situation. So some of us got lucky, got saved by that. That's coming up for expiration in a couple weeks. So we got that to deal with as well. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's all about trying to make do. The COVID numbers still going through the roof. Florida, you know, Texas, California, places like that, they kind of rolling back their reopenings. So, you know, there's a lot of places they reopened. A lot of clubs opened. A lot of people went to the beach, you know, that kind of thing. Thought it was cool to go and do all that, man. And, you know, COVID was there to meet them. COVID was there like, what up? You know, I thought I was going to be out, you know. COVID is everywhere. And so they ran right into it. It's crazy, man. It's like almost like, you know, I know it's summertime, and that's the thing. It's like this got to be one of the worst summers ever. In the time, you know, where as a global pandemic, nobody wants to sit at home. locked up, during the summertime, because they're scared to go outside because they're going to catch COVID-19. Also, the year in itself, I just sat back thinking about, I was talking to the wife about it the other day, and we were just sitting there talking about it. And I was just thinking, like, what position we was in just about a year ago. Like, our 2019, as a family was pretty spectacular. I think it was the first time in my life where I got to go on 3 vacations. Well, 2 vacations. One of them was a tag along with the wife. She had some stuff she was doing for work in Florida, and I got a chance to kind of tag along and go and do that. So that was cool. But then, like, last year, in the beginning of the year, or around the springtime, we went to California, went to San Francisco, and did a bunch of stuff there. If you follow me on Instagram and on social media and stuff, you kind of saw we did the whole San Francisco experience, the Golden Gate Bridge, and all that cool stuff. It was great. Like, it was just having the time of our lives. It was amazing, right? And then a few months after that, I think that's when we went to, that was during the summer, we went to Miami, Hollywood area in Florida for her job, which was like, wasn't really a vacation for her because she had to work. It was more like a little couple days off, like a week off from work for me. Got to chill out in the Florida sun and check out some things that I never saw before. Like, they were just opening up, because this was in the early fall, the end of the summer. They were just opening up the Hard Rock Casino, big ginormous building that's shaped like a guitar. They were just opening that up at that time, and our hotel was right across the way from it, like, at such a distance that you could kind of see it light up at nighttime and things like that. It was, pretty cool stuff. Again, I had pictures and stuff posted all over social media, so you can check it out if you guys wanted to see it. And then, of course, that winter, Christmas, December, just a few months ago, actually, 7 months ago, we ended our year. We went to London, England, and spent the week before Christmas there, right? And it was pretty spectacular. It was, one of the highlights of the year last year. And, it's funny when you think about all the stuff that happened in 2019, and then I'm telling you, like, soon as the new year started, it just, everything just kind of went downhill. It's amazing in contrast how different things are now, from just, like I said, seven months ago, or whatever the case may be. The contrast is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I know 2020 was bound to bring a bunch of stuff because of the fact that it was an election year here in the United States. That usually always bring, a little bit of chaos. It's always something that comes along with election year. It's always something that comes along, but I didn't know it was going to be, what actually came about, because it's like 2020 didn't start well, and there's nothing really good happening 7 months in. We're still kind of like, looking for a bright spot in this year. Me personally, I'm just waiting for it to be over. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for it to be over. Because there was, like I said, around the spring, a couple months ago, everybody was kind of, worried. That's when COVID hit the U.S. Around March of 2020, wreaked havoc on the country, put us in the, a serious depression, a recession, as I should say, a lot of jobs lost, changed life as we know it in the country. Work from home became a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot to get used to. You know what I mean? It's a lot to get used to, and it's a lot to really, kind of think about going forward, because I think coming out of this, life's going to be, slightly different than it was coming into it. Because, finally, me, I became a casualty of the COVID-19, not because I contracted the disease or nothing like that, but the company that I work for, they decided to do some different things. So, I'm kind of now in one of them kind of people that's kind of like, don't really know what the next step is and things like that. But, as we go through this, we plan and we kind of check out our different opportunities and things like that. So hopefully we'll find the path of least resistance through this, so it should be good. Other than that, coming out, start up the show without doom and gloom. I've rekindled my passion with the battle rap culture, which is great. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I had really like engaged in that stuff in years. It's got to be like 3 or 4 years. So I didn't know going in what the landscape, what the temperature was. Watched a couple of videos and saw there was a couple old school guys were still there. A bunch of new folks that showed up. But I just love like watching that stuff. Kind of get you all pumped up and things like that. Got me super excited. That kind of thing. Me and the wife decided to because of course during the quarantine and everything, everybody's sitting at home chilling. And one of the things that I've been doing, and I've been doing a whole lot of cooking that that I wasn't doing before the COVID hit. But that seemed like we're doing a whole lot of cooking now, which means that we're doing a whole lot of eating, which means kind of gaining a lot of weight, things like that. Now I don't think I've gained that much weight, but I'm pretty sure I gained some weight. I did no official measurements and nothing like that, but I look and feel kind of bloated. Yeah, and I know it's because I sit at home all day, and I'm cooking and frying up stuff, and you on the YouTube and whatnot, seeing people cook all this fantastic stuff, and it's crazy because now a lot of people that took interest in cooking, and everybody want to cook, and everybody want to post things that they cooked, and they want to share things that they cooked. I got invited to some Facebook group about people wanting to cook some different things like that. It's crazy, and then the curiosity turned into a little bit of a hobby, and then the hobby kind of turned into something else. So as a person who really didn't know much about cooking, coming into this thing, I learned quite a bit, like in the last few months about cooking, how to cook, things I just had no idea about before. Then I'm going to spend a lot of money on different cooking utensils and tools and things like that what you use to cook with. You know what I mean? It's been fun. I will say it's fun. Being able to go in the kitchen and experiment with different things. It's something that I just never really had time or the patience for. But now that ain't nothing really moving. That's all you got is time and patience now, right? And ain't nothing to do but to sit around and try to figure out new things to do. And I had read somewhere that some smart business junkie type person was saying that if you don't come out of this thing with a new skill or a new outlook on life, then you kind of wasted this opportunity. So hopefully I'm picking up some things along the way. Like I said, cooking being one of them. Been enjoying it. It's been fun. But because we were doing so much cooking and we were experimenting with the kitchen and going nuts at the grocery store, trying new stuff or whatever. And I gotta say, it doesn't really came out horrible. We had some things that didn't come out as good as we wanted them to. But I don't think we've done anything that was just like completely garbage. You know what I mean? Like most of the things that we've tried been all right. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to think if we tried something that was just god awful and was like, oh no, we're never gonna do that. Most of the things that we've done, we've kind of liked it and it came out okay. You know what I mean? There was a few things that we tried that we've actually incorporated into the little Boyd family dinner cycle or whatever the case may be. So, like I said, it's been fun. And it's been cool kind of experimenting with different things and things like that. But, we had to do something because, me, the wife was getting on the case. She's like, oh, you got to be a little more active. You got to do some things. Ain't no gyms. You ain't going to the gym. And whoever is trying to go to the gym right now is crazy. The gym got to be the worst place in the world to go to as far as like, being, places with germs and things like to pick up, nasty germs or whatever. So like, anybody going to the gym? She was all about like walking around the block and walking the dog and things like that. Not a huge fan of all that walking. But what I didn't know, I found out during this course of this whole thing, we having these discussions about exercise and stuff like that. I go online to go try to purchase a bicycle, right? This is when I was hit with the fact that I realized over the course of this whole quarantine, COVID-19 situation that we're in, there's a couple different things that you're just not going to be able to buy right now. One of them is a webcam because because of all the stuff that's been going on, it's really hard to find a webcam anywhere right now. Because I already know because I tried to do it. We tried to hook up my father-in-law's Zoom situation because he's a high-ranking practitioner at their Kingdom Hall. So we wanted to make sure he had a good Zoom setup, good microphone, webcam, computer. So he'd be nice and crispy and clear and audible, all that good stuff. Found out ain't no webcams. If you ain't got one, you ain't get one. That's a done deal. And bikes, there's no bikes anywhere except for the super expensive $3,000, $4,000 bikes that I can't believe people actually buy. But those bikes are there, and so you have that. But can't nobody afford those bikes. But for a normal bike, you ain't getting no bike. Not on Amazon, not at Walmart, not at the one place that you normally go and buy a bike at. You're not gonna find one. You know what I'm saying? So we tried that, unsuccessful, to say the least. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. So so what was available, believe it or not, was spin bikes. So spin bikes, the stationary exercise bikes that you have at the gym or whatever. Those were plentiful, right? So I took the last week or so to figure out to get us one. So we got one the other day. We've had it now for about 4 or 5 days. I've ridden it twice, and I gotta tell you, you look, if you don't know whether or not you're in shape or not, get on the exercise bike for 10 minutes. It'll tell you right off the rip how good of a shape that you're in. Because I'm telling you, that thing was brutal to me. So it just let me know that I was completely out of shape, that I needed to to get myself back right. So it's a good thing. I'm not gonna let the bike intimidate me. Eventually I get to the point where I can can master it or whatever. But I just gotta take it slow. I just need to kind of work with the bike and that kind of thing. So that's been an adventure. That's been something. For 2 days, for the last 2 days, we've been working with this bike. So like as we go forward, we'll give you constant updates on on what's going on with this bike because like I said, the first time I got on it, I thought I was going to die. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that. It was pretty hardcore. It was pretty serious business. You know what I mean? But I think I get past the first week or two, I think it'll get better, and I can do the 30-minute rides and whatnot. I haven't been able to do those yet, so we'll get into that as we get closer, as we move along. Getting closer and closer to August 5th, and I know for most people, people who know me know that's a significant date because that's the Samsung stuff, and I'm a Samsung nerd, and it's pretty exciting. It's exciting on one hand. Because, we get our Note and our Fold and our watch and our new tablet and the new earbuds and all that cool stuff. And I'm all about that life. Anybody who knows me knows I'm all about that life. It's just different this go around because, like I said, the situation at my job just changed. I'm not going to be involved in it this year. And that's the part that kind of I think that's the part that I'm having the hardest time dealing with is because this is like my favorite time of the year. You know what I mean? This is like my time to shine. This is like where I step up and I'm able to do what I do at the highest level. And I'm not going to be able to do it this year. And it hurt a little bit. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. But that's where we at right now. So I'm just sitting here watching the days get closer and closer to August 5th. And then all I can think about is, man, I'm not really going to be there for that. You know what I mean, right? It was almost like I remember back in 2012. 2012 was the first year since trying to think here. 2012 was the first holiday season since 2000 or 98 or 99 that I actually was able to spend the holiday, the Christmas, Thanksgiving, stuff like that at home with my family because I had did about 13 Black Fridays straight. something like that in my lifetime, because I've been working in retail all my life, and this is really all I know. And so what ended up happening was, I was the Best Buy mobile lead at a Best Buy, and about a week leading up to Black Friday, had a falling out with the management there. I was pretty much done with my job at that point, and I left. Right, so I was sitting there during Black Friday thinking, because this is really all I know. You know what I mean? This is really all I know, and I don't know what to do with myself, because it's like I know what I'm normally doing at that time, and I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, and it was weird. You know what I mean? Like, it was very strange. Like, it was a very weird feeling, and that feeling is similar to what I'm feeling right now, where this fall launch. So what's normally what we normally call it. We normally call it a fall launch, even though it's getting it's been moving closer and closer, creeping closer and closer into the summer as of the last 4 or 5 years. But it was always my most favorite time of the year, because I like the products that come out this time of year for Samsung, and I like that it's right before the holiday rush. You know what I mean? So it still had a little bit of purity to it, in my mind, because it's like during holiday season, you can pretty much get anybody to buy anything, because they're not really, most people are not buying things for themselves. It's a weird dynamic as far as like being in retail. But for this particular event, it's really pure, because it actually has it's designed for a specific group of people, and those are the ones who kind of react to it, and watching the people who are interested in this type of stuff react to it. It's always a super pure thing. It's the purest group of retail consumers that I've seen in my career of being a retail associate. Like, when it comes to that crowd that goes for like the Samsung Galaxy Note series phones, they're a different kind of customer. They know exactly what they want, know exactly what they're looking for. Most of the time, there's no hemming and hawing. There's no on the fence. There's no going between this and that. They know exactly what it is. You know what I mean? And it's always a joy to talk to these people and engage with them, because we share the same things. And maybe it's hyperbole. I don't know, but it's just that when I used to sell everything else, as a Best Buy employee, when I was involved with selling iPhones and things like that, it was always you have to kind of give a customer a nudge or push one way or another, or kind of help them kind of settle their mind on one thing or another. But when it comes to these people, you never had to do that, and I always liked just dealing with that and being in the middle of all that. But this will be the first time in 2 years that I won't be able to do that, and that's cool. So, but hopefully, like I said, going forward, after the smoke from COVID-19 clear, and we start to kind of creep out of the shadows a little bit to try to seek some sort of normalcy around here, hopefully I can be back in a situation where I can enjoy that part of my career again. But we'll see. Like I said, like we're gonna stay positive about it and that kind of thing. But on that note, though, I had decided that I enjoyed doing this version of the podcast so much that that I didn't want to do the smart guy. So I had a consumer technology podcast that was just dedicated on consumer technology that I did with a buddy of mine who I used to work with back in the day at Best Buy with this dude named Keon, and we had a blast with that. It was fun, but of course I wanted to really like talk a little bit more about personal stuff and things that I was going through, and sometimes I don't really always all the time want to talk about consumer technology all the time. Sometimes I want to talk about other stuff. You know what I mean? Like So I developed the Bigg Q's World podcast, and was kind of going to be where I can touch on tech if I wanted to, and so I can just do whatever I wanted to. So I kind of like this format as well. But I think after doing a whole lot of soul searching, is that I like this what we got going on right here. I think this is beautiful. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring back the Smart Guy Tech Podcast. We're going to try to do it. We're going to try to do it this week. But like I said, because we're getting close to the note stuff. but I think I'm gonna cater it towards Samsung more than anything else. I don't know. It's still in the oven. We still got it works. But one thing that we did get straight is one thing that we did get taken care of this week, though. We did get the Patreon refreshed because I had it set up. It was still set up from back in the day when we was doing the Smart Guys Tech Podcast. I was sharing responsibilities with Keon, things like that. But I went and we refreshed it. I went and rebuilt it from the ground up, completely dismantled the old version of it and built up a brand new version of it. And now, if you guys want to support the podcast, it's easy to do now because now the Patreon reflects the Bigg Q's World brand, and it's easy to do so. I'll have that on pretty much all my posts. It'll be, if you listen to the podcast on the podcast platforms, it'll be in the show notes, the link to the Patreon. If you're watching the podcast, like on the Bigg Q's World Facebook page or the Bigg Q's World YouTube channel, of course, the links will be in the description and stuff like that, so you can go and take care of that. And I'm just trying to build a community over there to see what's going on with that. Right now, I just got it set up where it's some simple stuff. You do the entry level support donations. It's just maybe just recognizing you for doing it for me. And then of course I got a secondary one where gosh, I forget what I did for the second one. I think I did I can't remember. Oh, I did where you can get the ad-free content, right? So far, those are the only two things that I got set up right now. I was waiting to see once we got a few people on board, and once we got a chance to kind of talk as a group, what would be some cool stuff that we can do going forward that you guys would enjoy, in return for supporting me and the podcast and the YouTube channel and all the stuff that I'm trying to do right now. So, I mean, what's a lot of things we can discuss. There's t-shirts and mugs and merchandise giveaways and all kind of weird stuff we can get into. But, I just kind of figured we'll start slow, build us to get us a nice little core folks going, and then we'll build from there. So, instead of jumping right into it and just trying to, take over the world from first down, we'll do it gradually. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just some things that I got that I figured I would kind of got thrown in the iron, just to see how it's gonna come out, that kind of thing. So we'll see. And of course, you guys will let me know. Also, I'm thinking about doing this. So the first episode of Bigg Q's World Podcast was audio only, right? It was audio only. Then the next time we did it, we added video to it and we did it live, right? And that was cool. I had a lot of fun with that. That can be a little bit involved. So, that right there, of course, it takes a little bit of extra effort to pull that off, which is not a big deal, but, it is a big deal. It's not a big deal, but it's a big deal. So then this time, I decided to do the audio podcast with video, but not live, right? We'll post that and we'll see how that works, and we'll see how that works, and then what we could probably do going forward, depending on what you guys want to do, we'll either do a weekly live version of the podcast on Patreon, or we'll do the podcast live all the time, right? Depending on how many people we have supporting the channel. Or we will do the audio only, shoot the video, but then post the video after the fact. So like it'll be, you'll get the audio version of it first, and then maybe a day or so later, the video version will be up on the YouTube and the Facebook. It's a couple different ways we could do it. I'm just trying to figure out what's going to be the best, way to kind of really build an audience for the podcast. So it's a couple different things. I would definitely like some feedback from you guys, people who are listening to the podcast. And people who gave me some feedback last time. Glass, the Sage of Sports, my homie Glass, he gave me some feedback on the podcast last time. And my man, what's his name? Little homie from Best Buy. He hooked me up on the podcast last time too. So some good stuff going on there, and I definitely appreciate the feedback and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what we got going on right now. So the only thing I want to talk about, I guess the main topic I want to talk about was kind of like, what's what I've been dealing with over the past couple weeks, was just motivation and stuff. So we'll get into some of the things that I've been kind of, observing and trying to equate to motivation to get myself motivated to do things. We'll get into that when we come back. We'll go ahead and run the social copy real quick, and then we'll close the show with that. All right, so now that we're back, I just wanted to say, man, the people over YouTube, y'all a trip, man. I definitely appreciate some of the stuff that y'all got going on over there. I think that's pretty fly and that kind of thing. But let me talk to you guys about just trying to stay motivated during this COVID pandemic. Man, it's been rough. Like find myself like waking up later and later and later, starting my day later and later and later, which, I've been trying to work on for the last couple of days, because, like I said, the motivation is the key. If the earlier you can get started and get your day going, the more you're going to be able to get done. And that's one of the issues that I need to work on, because, I look at the clock at 9 o'clock and I'm like, that's when I really should be getting up. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I get up, use the bathroom, come back, and I start watching the sports shows on TV, stuff like that. And then the next thing I know, I turn the channel now, I'm watching, some more modern Marvels or something on the Science Channel that's then caught my attention. The next thing I know, it's 12 o'clock. And then, of course, you come downstairs, and because it's so late, you don't really want to go into the kitchen and cook a breakfast, because that's going to take another 40 minutes. And by the time you get ready to eat, it's going to be 1 o'clock. So then you end up going to the McDonald's or you're ordering some food or whatever, which is definitely not what we're supposed to be doing right now. You know what I mean? We look at the exercise bike down there, and you're like, well, we'll get it after lunch. You know what I mean? Well, I'll get it after dinner. You're pushing that back. It's I feel like, I got my motivations are all over. I gotta rein them in. And I think that's one of the things that, for me, getting that schedule, especially now, where nothing is really structured, because I'm at home all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to really get a rhythm going. But that's kind of like, I told myself, like, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna first thing is first. You need to get up out of the bed earlier. I think coming downstairs at noon is a terrible, terrible way to kind of. So I think going forward, that we got to eliminate that first. That's the first thing, right? Like, coming downstairs at noon is just not gonna get the job done. That ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? That ain't gonna work. I think taking care of the business on the exercise bike. I mean, look, that's what you bought it for, right? You don't spend money on an exercise bike just to sit there and watch it. It's sitting there chilling, right? I see it. I got it in a place in my house where, I have to see it. I come out my room and it's right there. I come out of this room, I go to that door right there, it's sitting right there. You know what I mean? You come down the stairs, it's sitting there right there. You come through the living room, it's right. So it's in a place where you can't not see it. You know what I mean? And I did that by design, but at the same time, it's still hard to really stay focused on that kind of thing. Changing the diet, get the weight loss stuff. We gotta, I feel like I gotta get back on that. But because me and the wife, we're gonna decided we're gonna document our weight loss journey together, right? I don't think she really got much to work hard for, because she's looking pretty good. I mean, I done dug myself into a little bit of a hole, so I'm going to have to work a little extra hard to kind of take care of this. But, I feel like, with me and her together, motivating each other, we could probably get some work done. So, hopefully I can shed a few pounds before, I have to go back to work. So that kind of thing. So kind of looking forward to that. It's just, basically doing it. That's the reason why we didn't get a podcast it was 2 weeks. This was 2 weeks in between the podcast because just don't have the motivation to. And all I got to do is sit over here in front of this microphone and record my voice. That's all I can do. The motivation just wasn't there. Like I said, every time I put together a show, for whatever reason, it wasn't good enough, or I just wasn't feeling it. Something was going on, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. This is one of the things I got to kind of get my mind wrapped around. And like I said, those are things that I'm working on personally myself. So, hopefully you guys are doing the same. Hopefully you guys are doing the same and staying healthy and staying active some type of way, right? Can't just sit in front of the video games all day, bro. You can't do it, you know what I mean? You gotta find something to do with yourself and something creative and something to get the brain working and something to kind of keep your brain active and, not just sitting there turning to mush, sitting around reading social media all day. Me personally, I look at the social media, but I think I spend probably, on a daily basis, probably spend less than 10 minutes on social media. I kind of look at it when I'm on the throne or whatever, because I'm looking at either that or I'm reading the depressing news articles. So it's either depressing news articles or depressing social media posts from y'all folk. Everybody's life is going to hell in a handbasket, and I understand, right? It's cool, but I just don't see why we got to post about it all the time. But so I skim through the social media just to make sure, I'm just kind of seeing what's happening. Because, it's really the only way you know what's really going on. Because, like I said, I don't go outside that often. And, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV. So, I hit the social media to kind of see what everybody kind of doing, what's going on, and that kind of thing. And following up on my fellow creatives. So, other people who are doing creative stuff, I kind of want to keep in, touch with them and see what they're doing and stuff like that. That's usually about it. After that, I'm done with social media for the day. So, I don't let it kind of bog me down and nothing like that, but at the same time, I just know it's one of the things that a lot of folks, they kind of get caught up in that social media thing, and it can be rough, you know what I mean? It can be rough, but, we're going to try to, I try to keep that to a minimum, you know what I mean? I try to keep that to a minimum. Then of course, I try to read my news articles so I can stay with, abreast of what's happening out there in the real world, because while they got us hiding and hunkering down at home, they up there on Capitol Hill, trying to make life even worse for us. But, that's neither here nor there. It's just that, you got to keep an eye on these folks. You gotta know. You can't completely be oblivious to what's happening out there, because that way you will never know what's going on. But, I say I like to say this. The days are creeping by, and I see we are now almost done with July. We're heading into August. The pandemic ain't it ain't letting up none at all. It seems like it's even getting worse. So, a lot of people thought we'll be somewhere back to normal around June. Some people thought, around August it'll be, it's rough, man. It don't look like it's getting no better. So I'm prepared to really kind of duck and cover through the winter, but we'll see. Hopefully, man, this thing ends soon, and we can move about the way we used to, and that kind of thing. So, I don't know. I want to thank everybody for kind of hanging in there with me this evening on the podcast. I felt like, this podcast was cool because, like I said, I was going to freestyle it. I normally have a program for you guys. I usually have some type of, overview or some type of outline for us to follow. But just a couple things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to, and basically just the thing was to actually get the podcast done. So instead of sitting here for 15 minutes looking over the notes and saying this is garbage, I wanted to make sure it was recorded and it was ready to go, because that's kind of what my issue is that, I'm not getting the podcast done. And I need to get the podcast done. So even if it wasn't a news heavy or super exciting podcast this week, I still think each and every person who downloaded and listened to it and just want to hear my thoughts on what I think about what's really going on in my mind, I definitely appreciate it. I think it's cool, that kind of thing. And like I said earlier, the Patreon has been refreshed. It's ready to go. Like I said, all you got to do is go to it. It's www.patreon.com Facebook.com/Bigg Q's World, BIGGQSWORLD. .com, BiggQsWorld.com. So go there, man. Support your boy. And it's funny because, normally, I'm all about trying to get this YouTube, podcast stuff going. I'm always just excited about it. But it's just like when you start fresh and you see the numbers move super slow, it's hard to get motivated. But like I said, man, if you enjoy what's going on, if anything, if you like it, let somebody else know you like it. Maybe they'll like it too. And maybe we'll start seeing the numbers grow a little bit, and that'll give me a little bit more motivation to sit down in front of this microphone and share with you guys. So all I want to do is to share with you guys. I'm just want to share, what's going on. So next time, man, I wish everybody well, and y'all take it easy. It's been real. Let me see. You guys take it easy. It's been cool, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And be on the lookout for the Smart Guy Tech Podcast. And there might be a wrinkle in there because some of my Samsung buddies that I used to work with, I reached out to them, and some of them are on board with getting together to doing a Team Sammy type podcast. But I didn't really want to say nothing about it until that was really all set in stone. But I have reached out. We got the wheel moving. It's just a matter of who is going to commit and who is not going to commit. And if because there's 11 of us right now, if we can whittle that down to 4 or 5 people that's really wanting to get it done and really want to do it and really want to hang out with me and do a podcast like that, hey, I think it'll be a beautiful, awesome thing. But, I will keep you guys posted on that. Make sure to follow me on social media. All social media is Bigg Q's World. So it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Bigg Q's World. They kind of follow along to see how that's going to go. That seems like it'll be a lot of fun if we can get that done. But it's just a matter of, like I said, getting it all lined up and all that kind of thing. So you guys stay with me, stay tuned, keep your ear out there, make sure you follow me, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.